What up, y'all? It's TruthTiger, and I'm here to tell y'all to not be afraid of success. Success can be scary. Success is a new thing. Success can often be foreign from what we've come from. You know, we've been around failure after failure, disappointment after disappointment. We're around people who fail a lot and who don't reach for success. So success can be this scary foreign thing. And not only that, success will cause you to have to face new challenges. I had my channel get hacked. I had to go through all this BS to get it back. And I never would have had to deal with that stress had I not made this channel and had I not strived for success. Success is going to require you to take on new challenges. You're moving out away from people you've been around. You got to apply for a new apartment. You got to move. You got to maybe move to a new city. You have to, fill out applications. You have to meet new people. You have to go on an adventure. You have to embark on an adventure and embark on a journey to achieve success. It's an adventure. It's a tough road, and a lot of people look at those challenges. They look at what they will have to do. They look at the grind they will have to take on, and they look at like all the stuff in front of them like, man, I'm gonna have to do this, I'm gonna have to do that, I'm gonna have to do all this stuff, and it seems incredibly overwhelming. And I'm gonna tell y'all, when you're on your path to success, just take it one step at a time. Don't be thinking about this stuff too much all at once. Just think about what are the next actionable steps that you can take. What's the next step forward you can take? Find that next step forward and take it. Start walking forward. I remember I had tremendous anxiety when I first started my path to success because I had to move to a new place. I had to figure out my car, figure out car insurance, figure out my new job, make the new job work, make this work, make that work. And it's a lot of stuff to have to deal with, and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie, like, success is scary. It freaks you out, especially because it's like a lot of times you'll have like self-esteem issues. Like I had to deal with this too, where I felt like I was not deserving of success. I didn't feel like I was good enough to have this stuff happen to me, and you're gonna have to battle that stuff. You're gonna have to battle internally. You're gonna have to battle against doubt. You're gonna have to battle against self-sabotage, and a lot of people will sabotage themselves because they're too afraid of what success will bring. They're too afraid of the change, and they're too afraid that they're gonna have to change who they are in order to achieve success, and they're too afraid of all the work they're gonna have to do. And I'm telling y'all, like, don't be afraid of it. Like, yeah, it is scary, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, don't be anxious. There's gonna be new challenges. There's gonna be speed bumps in the road. The journey to success is a tough adventure. There will be ups and downs, there will be setbacks. There will be things about success that are uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to have to do all that work. It's uncomfortable to have to, do new things. It's uncomfortable to have to get out of your comfort zone, move away from your hometown, whatever it is. All this stuff is uncomfortable. And the thing about moving forward to success, you're having to blaze your own trail. There's not really a guidebook. There's not really a manual. You're gonna have to figure out things for yourself, solve problems for yourself. You're gonna have to blaze a trail and really think for yourself and figure out, what do I wanna do? Most people are involved in groupthink. They do not think for themselves. They do not figure things out for themselves. And it's tough. We are conditioned to, I guess what you could call a state of like codependency. And most people are conditioned to just like look to other people. But you're going to have to look within. And you're going to have a lot of faith too. You're going to have faith in God. And you're going to have faith in your own capabilities and your ability to adapt, succeed, learn, take on new challenges. It's going to take a lot of faith. And if you have doubt, you're just going to say, well, it's hard. I could fail. I could, there's risks. It's too scary. It's too foreign. It's too different. Why even try? And that's what most people do. They just don't even try because they're too overwhelmed by it. They're too intimidated by it. They're too freaked out by it. And success just seems like it's something that's too much. and people feel like they don't deserve it. They feel like they don't deserve it, and people don't want to make changes. They don't want to improve their habits. They don't want to improve their life. They don't want to move forward. And I'm telling y'all, like, don't be afraid of these things. Don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid to grow and to improve and to, move forward to better things in life. It's very, very worth it. It's worth the hard work. It's worth the sacrifice. It's worth the grind. Success can also be lonely too. You got a bunch of haters and losers and people around you who are toxic and just not good, and you're in this crab bucket, and you're gonna have to get out of that crab bucket. And some people might get jealous. Some people might change. Some people might try to sabotage you. Some people might try to make you doubt yourself. People are gonna tell you, no, stay where you're at. Don't move on to bigger, better things. Stay in the trenches. There's going to be a lot of people going to tell you just stay where you are, stay in the trenches, stay around your toxic family, stay around toxic friends, stay around a toxic community, stay down in those trenches, stay down in the mud. Don't crawl out of it. And I'm telling you, crawl out of the mud. These people, they're afraid that they're going to lose you. They're afraid that once you become successful, you're not going to come back around again. And you probably won't, because why do you want to go back to that toxicity? Why do you want to go back to just failure and misery and disappointment? And, why do you want to go back to that? With these people who are just, it's always a step back, and things are always degrading and getting worse. And, you're going to at some point have to get out. At some point, you're going to have to move forward. At some point, you're going to have to take on challenges, accomplish goals, and move forward. And you'll feel so much better having done that. And it is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice that old part of yourself, that's egotistical, scared, that part of yourself that will get too frustrated and won't be able to emotionally handle what, success will have to bring for you. Maybe you got to interview for all these jobs, and you got to send these job applications out, and it's hard, and you get rejected a lot. The thing is, in your journey to success, you will face a lot of rejection. You're going to have to hear 10 no's before you hear one yes, and having to deal with all that rejection, that's tough. That's going to be hard. Whereas if you stay where you are, it's like you're going to have this false sense of acceptance, this sense of security in the crab bucket. But in the end of the day, all those crabs are going to be thrown into a pot of boiling water, boiled alive and eaten. You don't want that. There's not real safety or protection in that crab bucket at all. And I really want to get y'all motivated and get y'all to get over that hump of fear, because when I started to move towards success in all kinds of ways, getting my own place, getting a car for myself, starting this channel, starting a better job, figuring out investments, whatever it is, getting closer to God, being spiritual. It's a tough journey, and you're going to lose a lot of people in that process, but that's okay. You're going to gain new people. You're going to gain new things. You're going to gain a better life, and it's worth having to take on the risks and the stress. It's worth having to change yourself. It's worth having to improve yourself. It's worth having to take on these challenges. So have courage. Have courage in your journey. Have courage in whatever you're doing. Take courage. Take heart and be strong and move forward. Move forward boldly. Don't stay back, afraid, anxious, stuck. Because if you stay back and stay stuck and stay down, those trenches will devour you. It's like I said before, all those crabs in the bucket get cooked. You will get cooked if you don't move forward to success. It's really a binary choice, succeed or fail. And it's easier to choose to fail. It's easier to choose not to try. It's easier to choose not to even show up, to just check out. To play it safe, to just be lukewarm about it, to just not really commit yourself to it, is what I'm trying to say. And success requires commitment. You have to commit yourself to your goal. You have to stay strong on your goals, stay to it, stick to it, be committed, persist, and push forward. And for a lot of people, they're scared of the commitment. You know, they're scared that they're going to have to work on something continuously over and over again. You know, they're scared that it might get boring, which it's not. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a journey, but you know, a lot of people, they're very scared to get out of the box. They're very scared to step outside of what they are used to. They're very scared to have to make their own decisions. They're scared to have to use their own will to push forward to new things. They're scared to have to think outside of the box and to, you know, figure things out for themselves. It's a scary thing, especially when you're used to just going along with it, you know? But you have to break the mold. You have to break the mold, push forward, move to new things, and try new things. You got to be adventurous, and you got to do it. You got to do it. You know, there's no, you know, if you stay where you're at, you're just going to sink into the mud. If you stay where you're at, you're just going to sink in the mud. But if you move forward, there's going to be risks. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be tough, but it will be well worth it, and you'll be in such a better place than you were before. So push forward to improve your life. Do the things you have to do, and don't wait around. You know, don't wait around. Start doing it. Start thinking about it. Start looking into it. Start researching it. Start looking into ways to make things better, and don't go for some quick fix. A lot of people, they go for a quick fix. They try to go for some get-rich-quick scheme. They try to find some shortcut. They try to find some easy way out. A lot of people try to delude themselves and, you know, BS about themselves and pretend they're doing better than they're really doing. And, you know, they're buying it all on credit. They're running up the credit cards or whatever it is. But a lot of people, they're lying to themselves. You know, they're living in a delusion. But don't live in that delusion. Live in the truth. Be very honest about your situation. Be very honest about your surroundings. Be very honest about your prospects. Put your feet on the ground and be very honest about things, and find realistic, actionable steps to move you forward. You know, a lot of people, when they do this, they think they're going to hit some home run, grand slam swing, and they're going to get the multi-millions, and they're going to be a millionaire, and this and that. Just think about what you can do to make your life a little bit better right now. What can you do to get your life a little bit better? Do that. Then think about what can you do to get even a little better from that. Do that. And just keep iterating on it, step by step. Just keep iterating on it and stepping forward one small step at a time, and you will eventually reach your goal, and you will grow so much bigger, so much better, so much stronger, and you'll be like, wow, how did I even get here? Wow, how did I even accomplish all of this? And you have to let go of limiting beliefs. A lot of people think that, you know, because they're from a certain town, they're from a certain family, they're from a certain background, they don't believe they're deserving of success. You know, it could not even be that. It could maybe just be other things where people just are really down on themselves and don't think that they deserve it. You do deserve it. You deserve it 100%. And there's no reason to be, you know, stuck. There's no reason to be frozen in stasis, because that's how a lot of people are. They're frozen in stasis, and the days go by, the weeks go by, the months go by. Sorry, I got a hiccup here. And things have not changed. They remain the same. And as a matter of fact, things slowly but surely degrade, and a dark shadow will start to be cast around them. And I felt that before, where I just felt stuck, trapped in my own head, and, you know, like just putting one thought in front of the other so I can put one foot in front of the other was so hard, you know? I was just so, like, not in the right mindset that it was just like, it was just hard. Everything was hard. But I'm telling you, like, start doing it, start moving forward, start trying, and it will get easier. It'll just get a little bit easier and a little bit easier, and you'll move a little bit more forward, a little bit more forward. And all these internal things that are holding you back, you'll start to release them. You'll start to let them go. And, you know, you'll just be like, wow, my life is so much better. My situation's so much better. And you won't have this like feeling like there's a wolf at your back trying to get you, trying to hunt you, because that's how it feels when you're stuck on the bottom. It feels like there's a wolf trying to get you all the time. And you're not going to be in this like battle for survival, because that's where a lot of people are at. They're stuck in a battle for survival, and you need to get out of that battle for survival and get to a point where you're thriving and abundant and you have extra. You're not just constantly burnt out, running on empty, going from one drama to the next, going from one BS to the next, from one crazy thing to the next, you know, where you're like, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm getting past this stuff. I'm getting ahead of this stuff. But that journey will present new stresses, new challenges, new difficulties. And you got to be willing to take on those new challenges. You got to be willing to take on those new stresses. And again, there's a lot of people who will delude themselves. They'll read one self-help book, or they'll watch one video or something, and they'll act like they got it all figured out, and they'll act like it already happened. No, you got to do the work. Getting to success is going to take a lot of work, a lot of concerted effort. It's not going to happen all at once. It's going to take day in, day out. And success takes time. Success will be a test of patience. It'll be a test of how long can you stay on the grind, you know? And I think a lot of people they just kind of know they're going to give up. They know they're going to quit. So they're like, well, why even try? Because I'm just going to quit. All those thoughts about resigning and quitting and giving up need to leave your heart. You know, that whole feeling, that whole way of being where you just quit and give up, it has to leave you, because I know so many people who will just quit, give up the second things get hard. And a lot of people will sabotage themselves. They will sabotage a good job, a good relationship, good friends, good situations, because the idea of success just freaks them out. It scares them, you know? It's too much for them. It's too much to handle. It's too much going on. It's too different. You know, success can sometimes be complicated. It can sometimes be complicated. It can sometimes be difficult. You know, it'll cause you to have to think about new things, learn new things, build, grow, adapt. You know, success is going to force you to adapt and to change and to improve. You know, and that's not always fun. That's not always comfortable. The journey to success is an uncomfortable journey. It's a journey where you're not always going to feel comfort and ease, but that discomfort is going to lead to a lot more comfort and security and stability later on, you know? So you have to be able to, you know, delay gratification. You have to be able to work hard now and grind now so you can have gratification later, rather than just seeking easy, right here and now gratification, but then you suffer later. You got to flip that around and suffer now so you can have gratification later, you know? So the whole mentality has to change, you know? You have to have a mentality where you're like willing to make sacrifices, willing to grind so you can chill later, not just chill now and then, you know, last minute panic, you got to survive, fight for survival. Then you start actually doing the work, you know, then you start doing the work to just like get your back off the wall, you know, and that's how most people live. Their backs to the wall. They do what they can to get their back off the wall. Their back's back to the wall again. And then eventually they get got. Eventually they fall through the cracks. And I'm telling y'all, start your journey to success now. Start working, start grinding, start doing the things you have to do, and be realistic about it. Don't have a pie in the sky mentality where I'm going to imagine myself as a millionaire with a Porsche, and because I imagined it, it's going to magically happen. That's fine. You can do that if you want, but without the work, none of that will happen. Without the work, it will not happen. So I'm telling y'all, don't be afraid of success. Don't have a mentality of like a peasant where you're going to just play it small and be small and you stay the same and you don't change, you don't get out of the box. You know, you don't try to do big things. You just are, you know, ask for little, and You know, you have a mentality where I don't deserve anything. I don't deserve to be successful. I'll just stay small, play it small. You know, you don't want to be content to, you know, you don't want to be content to just like kick a field goal. Go for the touchdown. Don't be content to just kick a field goal. Like, that's how a lot of people are. Oh, I'll kick the field goal. For those of you who don't know, a field goal is something from American football. For my non-American people, if you can't get all the way to the touchdown, you settle for a field goal. It gets you less points. It's not as good. Whereas instead, stay fully committed and go for the touchdown. Don't, like, compromise. Don't compromise and settle for less. Don't go for like a halfway version of things. Go all the way in your journey to success. Go all the way. Don't go halfway. Don't settle for just something little and be like, oh, that's cool, you know? Another metaphor is like, don't be happy or content to win a decision. And in boxing and in like UFC fighting, you can win by a knockout or a submission. You can really get the guy, or you can just go to the judges' scorecards and, you know, they'll, if you score more points than the other guy, you know, you just outpoint him a little bit and you win that decision. Yeah, it's still a win, but don't be content with that. Go for that knockout punch, you know? Go for something big, something realistic, but go for something big. Get that touchdown. Get that knockout. Like, go for the big thing. Don't be settling for some little scraps. You know, and again, be realistic. You know, be smart about what you can do. It has to actually be a realistic, achievable goal. Take small steps to it. Break it down into small pieces. You know, if you're going for a touchdown in football, you got to move the ball down the field. You got to move the ball down the field. You got to get first downs. You know, you got to grind your way there. You know, it's probably not going to happen with just one Hail Mary pass. But at the same time, you have to have that big goal, you know? Have those big goals. Like, really do the actual thing. Don't just settle for less. Don't just settle for something that's, you know, just good enough. You know, go all the way. Go all the way. Go for it 100%. And don't settle for less. Don't settle for less. Don't go halfway. Don't, you know, go halfway there and then go back because you don't feel good enough. You deserve it. You have value. Also, like, one thing I want to say to end this video is you have inherent, given to you by God. I'm going to cover this light up. This is messing up my camera, but or giving me a bad picture here, but go all the way. And you have value. You deserve success. You have inherent value. Just work hard and that value will be shown to the world and uncovered. Don't be happy with a field goal. Don't be happy winning a decision where you dance around and throw a few jabs and win on points. Don't be content with that. Win all the way. Go all the way. Achieve your goals all the way. You know, don't be content to just make the playoffs. Win the championship. That's the best metaphor. Don't be content to just say, well, I made the playoffs. That's cool. No, we're going to win the championship. Go for that. Have that in your mind and step forward to that one small little itty bitty step at a time. The championship, it seems so big. It seems so unachievable, but just take one step forward. And don't go, oh, I made the playoffs. Now I'm just going to stop trying and hang my hat on that. That's good enough. No. Move forward. Win that championship. Win, win, win. So yeah, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. God bless. And I will catch you all later.